For many New Jersey residents, mass transit is a critical piece of their ability to get around. But for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, it's often their only option for travel. Well, the state is now addressing long-standing problems with public transportation that have prevented those residents from being more independent. Ted Goldberg reports.
Nancy Gutschmidt has places to go.
Doctor's office, movies, nails, hair, you name it.
Getting to work can be a real pain, depending on if her bus shows up.
Not so easy because they're on a Saturday schedule. They don't have this. This schedule is horrible. But now I got my Lyft, I use it.
Gutschmidt gets 35 miles a week on Lyft as part of a state program through the Division of Disability Services, which she's using more and more because of issues with NJ Transit.
When you get rerouted, you're lucky if you know where you're going. And then you get your zones, you might have to pay more.
There's not a shelter that's there, a bus shelter. So it's kind of difficult to wait out there in the chair, and especially when the inclement weather is just no protection.
Johnisha McKenzie is the acting chair for the New Jersey Statewide Independent Living Council. She's had issues accessing some of the roughly 60 NJ Transit stations that are fully accessible, which make up less than half of the total train stations in New Jersey.
I have to ride until I can find somewhere where I can get down easily, and sometimes that's not always the safest, especially if it's not at a crosswalk.
Public transit ride only works if, it's only public if it's for everyone.
Matt Binder works for Easter Seals, New Jersey, a nonprofit that helps people with disabilities. He was happy to see Governor Murphy sign a bill this week that requires the Department of Transportation to develop universal design concepts and advance the mobility options for persons with intellectual and developmental disabilities and individuals diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. These concepts would apply to the planning, design, construction, maintenance, and operation of new and rehabilitated public highways and public transportation projects. The DOT says it's updating its policies to include aspects of the new law.
The really exciting step about this is that, it considers beyond, traditional things like curb cuts and truncated domes, and, goes into things like, intellectual developmental disability, deaf and hard of hearing, autism spectrum, and, has a much more complete view of accessibility and disability.
I had a friend who lived in Milltown, and his son suffered from autism. And I can remember him saying that, when his son would be in crossing the street or whatever, he had challenges that other people didn't have, even with the crosswalk, with interacting with other people, etc.
Senator Patrick Duignan is one of the bill's co-sponsors. The bill is light on specifics, and Senator Duignan says that's intentional, so people can give their input on possible changes.
We don't know the answers. And the most important thing is that all of us have to realize all we know is the problem, and you have to make this part of the process and reach out to the various groups.
Gutschmidt and McKenzie have some suggestions.
From the building complex that I lived in to get down to the bus, it was such a busy street that it was just too dangerous. I attempted on a couple of occasions, and I actually had to get a police escort.
I feel unsafe because all of the construction is coming around.
Do you feel like they do a good job of telling you where to walk?
No, they don't. They need to improve in that one too.
This law comes 4 months after NJ Transit reached a settlement with the U.S. Attorney's Office to increase accessibility at 5 rail stations. NJ Transit had been accused of multiple violations of the Americans with Disabilities Act. For NJ Spotlight News, I'm Ted Goldberg.